Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And of course, good morning, mini Motorways. We are heading to Los Angeles for today's daily challenge. We will see absolutely no circles and bridges require double road tiles. In Los Angeles, that's that's a little dicey. That's a little dicey. We're going to use a lot of bridges. Samurai Sam dropping a crab rave to get our Monday started. Good Monday morning, Sam. I hope you had a good birthday. It was Samurai Sam's birthday this past Saturday. Trombone Dalek is here as well. Trombone Dalek was here first. I want to tell a funny story, and then I actually have something I want to talk about. I have a thought. Oh no, I've had a thought. So the funny story is, as I've discussed, I've been playing Magic the Gathering recently, and the reason I got back into Magic was actually Samurai Sam. He invited me to play. I said, cool, I had fun, and now I'm just, buying and lusting after Magic cards all the time. So, it being Sam's birthday, I decided to get Sam. I don't even get that. I don't know what a thug. Maybe I say the word thought weird. Anyway, let's take 2 traffic lights. So it was Samurai Sam's birthday this past Saturday, and I decided to get him a gift card to TCG Player, which is the biggest online retailer of singleton Magic cards, which is basically all that we buy. I do pronounce silent letters in a word. That is a fair, true, and accurate statement, come to think of it. All right, you come over here. We'll get this yellow guy going into this yellow business. That'll be just fine. So I got Sam this gift card, and it occurred to me that basically Magic players and kinky couples have the same way of being generous to one another. Because I essentially gave Sam something he can use to hurt me, right? I gave Sam this gift card to TCG Player, and I'm basically saying, here, happy birthday. You're my friend. I love you. I value our time together very highly. Please use this to inflict punishment upon my person. So, it's not the only 2 groups of people that can say that, but it's a rare and exclusive club, I think. We're going to take 30 road tiles and consider how we're going to get this, you know what? I think we're going to have to do this blue thing a little bit differently. Let's do this. So we're going to do blues down to here. That's going to be fine. You are going to go up that way and in like so, right there. And this yellow here is going to hook around into this. So now we get our 2 blues up to this blue business. Didn't mean to scroll there, but okay. We get our 2 blues up to the blue business. Okay. Oh, I hate that these reds wound up there. But it's gonna be okay. We're gonna go down and around like so. So the 2 blues are gonna go down and around like so. The 2 reds are gonna go there. These 2 reds are gonna go here. There. Sam says he's about to start researching his next possible TCG Player purchase, what decks he might want to make, and there are so many possibilities. There are indeed so many fucking possibilities. Magic is a good game. It's also a game that's been around for ever, and it has all of the mechanics at this point. It's like, if there's anything you want to do with cards in a card game, you can do it in Magic the Gathering. So that's both a good and a bad thing, I suppose. But for our purposes, we'll say it's a good thing. You know what else is a good thing? Or at least was for many years largely considered a good thing, and then quickly became a bad thing, and then quickly became a thing that basically nobody cared about for a few years, is Game of Thrones. Now, Game of Thrones, obviously, y'all have heard of it. Let's take a Motorway here. I don't think I'm ever actually going to sit down and watch Game of Thrones because it's like 6 or 7 seasons of a TV show. That's a really long investment. It's dense. There's a lot of shit to follow. There's a lot of shit to keep track of. There's also some wild bullshit nonsense at times. And as previously stated, it eventually becomes bad. Like the TV show stopped being good, and then they kept making the TV show, and that's never a good thing, right? However, I think I have discovered the perfect medium to watch Game of Thrones, and the perfect medium for me to watch and enjoy Game of Thrones is TikTok. For you see, on TikTok, they don't worry about such things as, character building or backstory. On TikTok, you get all of the fun scenes where things happen, but because TikTok is very aggressively, let's not say censor, but because TikTok very aggressively filters certain types of content, you're also going to get people just being totally paranoid about, okay, we can't show any nudity whatsoever, we can't show any real violence whatsoever. And listen, if there are two things that Game of Thrones does all the goddamn time, it's violence and nudity, and more often than you'd like, violent nudity and nude violence. So by stripping all of those out of it, all you're left with are the funny jokes and the good speeches. And Game of Thrones has some funny jokes and good speeches. All right. What the hell are we going to do about this business over here? I think what we're going to have to do is pull these two red guys and have motorway number 1 come in like so. That feels weird and bad and awful dumb, but needs to be done, I think. Meanwhile, okay, we're coming into Monday. Give me, I'll take a bridge. And then I think I might immediately use this. Best Pies in London is here. Good morning, Pies. If I want to enjoy Game of Thrones, just watch it on TikTok? Apparently. I mean, listen, you're not going to get all of the plot or anything, but I've watched enough Game of Thrones that I've been able to form some opinions about Game of Thrones, which I think are, pretty solid. I think these are pretty solid opinions about Game of Thrones. For instance, Tyrion rules. Tyrion Lannister fucking rules. He's smart and clever and funny and smug about how smart, clever, and funny he is, which is, the best things a person can be, really. It's not actually true, but he's entertaining to watch. Tyrion Lannister fucking rules. Ned Stark, whose entire character is, I'm a good dude in a land full of bastards. I expect people to be good dudes even though the land is full of bastards. And then presumably eventually he gets killed for being a good dude in a land full of bastards. There's a crimson engagement or something of that nature, but we don't have to worry about that. It's fine. He's just a good dude in a land full of bastards. That is definitely going to go well for him. I don't see how it could possibly end poorly. I also realized, just from having seen so many damn clips of Game of Thrones, at one point, they apparently decided that Jon Snow was, the main character, and they decided to push him as, essentially, in wrestling terms, we would say their top babyface, and it doesn't look like it's gonna work, but maybe it worked. Let's take a motorway. It also looked like they briefly flirted with having Maisie Williams' character, whose name I don't know, but who is Ned Stark's daughter. Apparently they flirted with making her the top babyface, and, well, I don't think they were ever seriously going to do that, but it might have been cool. Let's see here. We got situations developing. I think we're going to move motorway number 1, get these two reds right here. These two can come down here. This green is poorly positioned. Let's see here. What are we going to do about this green? That's a wonderful question, honestly. Let's go this way. And then you can come down here, up this way, like so. All right, everybody go. Yeah, let's say everybody go. And then bing, bang. What we're going to do is... Man, this is hard. This is rough. I've got these 3 greens. If I put these 3 green... Actually, yeah, I think I'm going to have to redraw this yellow road. Like so. The yellows are going to come down here and grab that up here. So the yellows and blues work together. And now these greens are just going to... This is awkward and bad. All right, let's see here. Pies says she tried so freaking hard to watch Game of Thrones. Tried to watch the show, didn't like it. Tried to read the books. People said they were better. Didn't care for them either. Yeah, listen, it's very dense. It's very dense. There's an awful lot there. The good stuff is good, but the bad stuff, from what I've heard, is really fucking bad. Samurai Sam wants to know the Goog's top 3 face turns. Ooh. Face turns are... There are a lot of really memorable heel turns. Like, the turn that you always remember in wrestling is the heel turn, but there are some really good babyface turns as well. And he didn't specify in professional wrestling, so... We're probably not going to limit ourselves to professional wrestling here. But the first one I'm going to mention, let's take a motorway and how best to fix this bullshit. Here's what we're going to do for this bullshit. We're going to kill these yellow guys. We're going to kill their road. You are going to work together. Come here. Yeah, you're going to grab this. We're going to take you. You're going to come out like so. Blue guys are going to go up and around and in. Yellow guys are going to motorway number 3 right over to there. That's going to make this intersection less of a nightmare. Matter of fact, if I get a bridge back, I can totally separate these roads. And I did just get a bridge back. Let's hold off on that. So the first babyface turn that we're going to talk about is Batista's. And Dave Batista, who is now a very successful and extremely good actor. Like, Dave Batista is fucking great. Batista, as you probably know, started his professional, performing career as a professional wrestler. And he found himself in Evolution, which was Triple H's stable that wanted to be the Four Horsemen, but didn't want to call themselves the Four Horsemen because reasons. But it was Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, and Batista. And Triple H was the leader and the world champion, and Flair was like the manager who wrestled every once in a while, and Orton was the hotshot young babyface star guy of the future type deal, and Batista was the muscle. And that's pretty much it. I don't think Batista was ever really supposed to get super over, but, he was huge, and Vince McMahon really likes dudes who were huge, so there was a non-zero chance that Batista was going to get over, and as it happened, Batista got over. So, let's pause a moment and consider how we're going to get red dudes over here, considering how fucking expensive bridges are. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take you and you. You're going to run up here. Oh my God, you're going to have to go all this way. This is a long road we're drawing here. You're going to come up here, down into this business. You are going to maintain that. You, motorway number 1, are going to hook down this way into here. So now you two sustain that, you sustain that, you do nothing. Okay. So Batista gets himself over, and he actually winds up winning the 2005 Royal Rumble, right? And the winner of the Royal Rumble is guaranteed a world title match at WrestleMania. At this time, there were 2 quote-unquote world championships in WWE. There was the WWE Championship, which was basically they had such a huge roster that they chopped it in half and did what they've called a brand split. And they had They had a roster that only wrestled on Raw and a roster that only wrestled on SmackDown, and very rarely the twain shall meet. They do this every once in a while. It's a good idea that they never do well, which is like most of what WWE does, but I digress. Anyway, so Batista wins the Royal Rumble, and he has to make a choice. Is he going to challenge JBL, who's the WWE champion on SmackDown, or is he going to challenge Triple H, who's the World Heavyweight champion wrestling on Raw? And you may already be seeing where this is going. Triple H knows that Batista is big and scary and gonna fucking kill him, so he doesn't want to face him. Instead, he wants Batista to go face JBL, but he also thinks that Batista is stupid. So he manipulates Batista and is like, Big Dave, if you go over beat SmackDown, it'll be Evolution has both of the world titles. We'll conquer the wrestling world. We'll reign unquestioned as kings forever and ever and ever. Rah! And there's this very memorable segment on Monday Night Raw. If WWE ever goes under, Raw will be cooked. This is true. It's a true fact. It's also a funny joke. So there's this very memorable segment. It's the main event it's like the last segment, the main event of Raw. Batista is going to make his decision, and he's got, JBL comes over from SmackDown, and Triple H is there, and both of the general managers who are like the bosses of the shows show up, and they're trying to lobby for Batista, and ultimately, Batista has a contract for the WWE Championship match and a contract for the world title match. And he looks over at Triple H, who's his bestest friend in the whole wide world, but also he secretly knows has been manipulating him. And he holds up the SmackDown contract and he gives Triple H a big thumbs up. And Triple H and Ric Flair, they're like, yeah, all right, Dave's gonna fight JBL for the SmackDown title and not kick my ass. Awesome! It's gonna rule. So they give him this big enthusiastic thumbs up. And then Batista looks at Triple H and just take his thumbs up. He just slowly rotates his thumb into a thumbs down. And Triple H and Ric Flair get this, oh shit, expression on their face. And the crowd goes ape shit. They were so into Big Dave at this point. But the crowd went ape shit. And Jim Ross on commentary, who, like, early 2000s Jim Ross was still basically the best fucking wrestling commentator ever. So, like, he was going ape shit. Batista gives Triple H this big thumbs down, and Triple H is like, oh fuck, you son of a bitch! And he charges at Batista, and he gets his shit wrecked, and Batista powerbombs him through a table, and the crowd goes wild. It was excellent. It was tremendous babyface turn. All right, let's see here. YouTube Blues are kind of struggling over here. That's not great. Is there anything I can really do about that, though? Not at the moment. Like, I've got all of these guys, but Goog liked it. I was probably going ape shit. It was 2005. I still marked out for WWE every now and then. Let's see here. You know what we're gonna have to do? Oh, this is gross. I don't want to do this dumb thing. Do I have another dumb thing I can do? I do, in fact, have another dumb thing I can do. Hold on. Here's a dumb thing I can do. Yep, I do have a dumb idea. All right. We are going to slap a roundabout right here. Yeah, sure, we're going to slap a roundabout right here. It's going to be fine. And you three are going to go up into the aforementioned roundabout and then out of the aforementioned roundabout. And you're going to... Actually, no, hold on. We can do this better. All right, this tree's going to have to die. I'm sorry, tree. We've tried. We've tried so many things, and yet it's not working. Here. All right, so now these three can go into the roundabout and down over. Yes, the Goog is a tree killer. It's a true fact. It's a true fact about professional wrestling, somehow, that the _ Goog is a fucking tree murderer. All right. You go up over to there. You go up over to there. You three go that away. You go that away. Okay. You go there. You go here. All right. So that's one of my top 3 favorite face turns. Another one And this is a more famous one, but hey. Let's do something weird and bad. Let's get you into here. We got to get yellows down this way. You can go down that way too. Because you and you, okay. And now you and interesting. I'm sure this is fine. I'm sure this is all totally fine. All right. You come here. You greens aren't doing anything. You're all fine. Okay. Let's do something weird and bad is basically the motto of the channel. You're not wrong, Dalek. You're absolutely not wrong. So another very memorable babyface turn is actually a double turn. And a double turn is pretty much exactly what you think when you hear the phrase. It's when two wrestlers turn in the same story. And it's Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin's double turn at WrestleMania 13. WrestleMania 13 is, for the most part, a bad show. However, it features a submission match between Bret Hart, who was a multiple-time WWF champion, one of the greatest technical wrestlers in the world, and just all around kind of becoming a cocky jerk, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was a vicious bastard heel who was also tough as nails and never quit. And people really started to like that about him because he was very intense and he had great charisma and he cut really good promos. This was a good 9 months after the Austin 316 promo at this point. So, Austin was really starting to get over and the crowd was really starting to get behind him, but also he found himself in a feud with Bret Hart, who up until this point had been the top babyface in the company for a number of years. But he was also Canadian and had occasion to say mean things about the United States. And listen, if you're a professional wrestler and you say mean things about the United States, well, professional wrestling companies are going to book you as a heel because, USA. So, let's see here. Are we okay, by the way? I think we might be fucked. Let's take another roundabout here. All of these blues can mostly support this. This is fine. I've got a motorway that I'm not doing anything with at the moment, but I don't really think... Actually, I just have so many light blues. I have so many light blues and I don't quite understand why everything's falling apart, aside from my general failure to adhere to the guiding principle of one business, one road. It might just be that. You know what's not helping is the fact that these guys have to come up here and go in there in order to do anything. Let's do something amazingly stupid and just route them directly through the roundabout. Yeah, that's one of the dumber things I could do, so we're gonna do it. Okay. Good talk. Next, while we're doing stupid things, let's do this stupid thing. We're going to save a little bit of dark blue road right here. We're going to take these two reds. We're going to motorway number 4 them over here to support this business. Having done that, that means we don't need this guy going up this way, and we don't need these reds going into the roundabout and further complicating bullshit. Instead, we can do that, send the reds out this way. Okay. You, little light blue guy, are going to go up here. That's going to be totally fine. Everybody fucking go. Yes? Sort of. Only sort of, though, because this light blue business has 2 light blue dudes and no help. You know what? Let's get it a little bit of help. We're going to pull 2 light blue guys out of here, and we're going to do that, and now you two join you two in supporting that. All right, everybody go. This yellow guy's mad. Well, this yellow guy being mad does make sense. It only has 1 house. So, how best to unfuck that yellow guy, I wonder? If I do this, then these 2 yellows, man, I think we're going to have to do that. So we're going to take you, and we're going to run this guy down here. So Stone Cold Steve Austin is a tough-as-nails son of a bitch who never fights anything and who, doesn't afraid of anything or whatever the fucking meme is. And are you just gonna die, light blue guy? Are you actually okay? Are any of my light blue guys okay? So Steve Austin's a mean, tough son of a bitch who never quits, and Bret Hart is a cocky heel who thinks he can make anyone submit with his patented finishing hold. The seriously another light blue guy? The seriously another light blue guy won Bret Hart so many world championships over the years. Like, the seriously another light blue guy is one of the more devastating finishing holds there's ever been. Somehow we got to 1,182 commuters in 74 days, which doesn't feel great, but yeah, top 40%, there's a samurai. Oh, good God, that samurai slam. Yeah, that does make sense. So Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin have an excellent fucking match. It is a great match at WrestleMania 13. It's a submission match, right? And the point of the match, obviously, is to make your opponent submit, but Stone Cold Steve Austin has never submitted. He's like a tough bastard heel who will kick you in the junk or whatever, but he's also, like, super tough, so people like him. Over the course of the match, Bret Hart gets more and more and more frustrated by the fact that he can't put Steve Austin away, no matter what he does. I did bad, and I should feel bad. I do. I did, and I do. I was stuck on a low number for a very long time. It's not stuck, but it could have been. Over the course of the match, Bret gets more and more frustrated with Austin, and he eventually starts... Well, it's not cheating because there's no disqualifications, but he starts resorting to underhanded tactics. He uses the ropes to his advantage, he kicks Austin in the junk once or twice. He's being a dick. And Austin is, fighting from underneath and making comebacks and desperately trying to win and all that good stuff. And eventually, the finish of the match, one of the most iconic moments in fucking professional wrestling history, okay? The finish of the match is Bret Hart has Austin in the sharpshooter for like the 9th time in the match. It's ridiculous. And by this point, Bret has beaten Austin to a literal bloody pulp. His forehead's busted open. He's got blood running down his face. If you've ever seen, and listen, if you have ever seen a wrestling t-shirt, there's a better than decent chance you've seen this t-shirt. If you've ever seen the shirt with a bald-headed man grimacing in agony as blood runs down his face, it's from this moment. Bret's got Austin in the sharpshooter. Austin is desperately trying to get to the ropes, which would force not necessarily a break, but you can't win the match if your opponent's in the ropes. But he just can't get there, and he's screaming in pain, and he's got blood gushing down his forehead, and then finally, he just passes out. He never quits. He never gave up. But he passed out. And the referee, who, by the way, was fucking Ken Shamrock, UFC fighter turned professional wrestler, not an actual referee. He did a great job. But the referee stops the match. Bret wins the match, right? But he beats the shit out of Austin afterwards, and Austin finally gets up and refuses medical help and like limps to the back under his own power. It was a fucking great double turn. From that moment, Bret was a heel and Austin was a beloved babyface who they eventually realized was the top guy in the company, and then it turned out the top guy in a generation. So that was good. Sam asks a question: when pro wrestlers pass out, how often do they actually pass out? When a pro wrestler is scripted to pass out, he never passes out. It is rare and terrifying when a pro wrestler does pass out. It can't be think because there's a K in think. It can't be thins because, wheat thins. No, there's an S in thins. It can't be thing because there's a G. It can't be thine because there's an E. There have been times when wrestlers have been knocked unconscious. It could absolutely be filth. There have been times when a guy has taken a bump wrong and been knocked. Wow. There have been times when a guy has taken a bump wrong and been knocked unconscious, either very temporarily, like where you just get essentially rattled or, flash knockout and then you're back up. Or there have been times when a guy has taken a bump and just been out cold. Those are fucking terrifying. There's also a handful of occasions. Thankfully, this has never happened This has never happened on a major televised show in the United States. However, it is possibly inevitable that it will, and God, I hope it doesn't. But there have been times when a dude has just taken a bump and straight up died. Like Mitsuharu Misawa, who was a legend of Japanese pro wrestling and one of the biggest influences in both the Japanese style and the modern US style. He took a suplex and just suffered an internal decapitation and was literally dead. So that kind of thing does happen very, very rarely. It is terrible when it does. It could have been with. It wasn't, but it could have been. I still have a third babyface turn. I was going to say Regina on Once Upon a Time in my number 2, but yeah, fuck it. Number 1 is going to be Batista. Number 2 is going to be Regina Mills on Once Upon a Time. I'm a sucker for Regina. She was a good character for the 5 seasons and an episode I watched that show. And number 3 is Austin and Bret Hart. There. I probably am forgetting several thousand good ones, but hey, you only gave me 3. Let's see here. So this Wordle. It can't be Firth, because we know there's no F and no R. It can't be Pimth, because we know that's not a word. It can't be Fifth, because there's no F's. It could be Ninth. Can we get the 9th word on our 5th guess? Yes, we can. It can absolutely be 9th. That's, ooh. I think that's the first time, like, has the Wordle ever been 8? Has it ever been, like, a number that's also a word? It must have been. It must have been, like, 4th or 40 or something like that. Oh, Sam had the first and 4th letter to get and had already ruled out C, so he was staring at it for a long time. I believe how you would come to that point, Sam. Trombone Dalek would like to hear Nora get a treat, which sounds like a good idea. She has been very hyper this morning. Might have something to do with the fact that I got up early and didn't immediately feed her, which just threw her off because she's used to being fed first thing in the morning. Hi, Nora. Yes, there's a girl. It's true that she has been very hyper for her whole life, Sam. You're not wrong. Hi. Yeah, we're talking about you on the internet. Here, have a treat. Oh, there's a precious kitty. Oh, there's my baby. There's a girl. Here, as long as you nibble on this treat, I don't have to end the episode, which means I don't have to do chores, which means ow! She bit me. Now, granted, I was holding a treat up to her mouth, and she was trying to bite the treat. Hi. Oh, there's a baby. It's okay. It's okay. All right, there goes the treat. You can lick my fingers. This is going to be the end of the episode. Thank you all for watching. I will be back tomorrow morning for another edition of Good Morning Mini Motorways. Until then, watch AEW Dynamite. I don't know. Watch Game of Thrones on TikTok. There's your media recommendation for the day. Get on ThronesTok. Bye.